Welcome back, El Contrites. We're going to continue our Jurassic World Era 3. This time we've done our cut list, and we got it down where we saved 10 spots for new species, which is what I average would probably be the max amount of 10 new species. Anywhere from 5 to 10. People are like, hey, is there enough of that to fill it? Because also keep in mind that I am also going with the theory of that the Jurassic World Rebirth will be a DLC. So any animals totally connected to that, the Titanosaur, variants for the Mosa and the Spinosaurus will be there. Supposedly there's Aqualops, there's a couple other new dinosaurs, a couple of new variants that might show up in the movie that we don't know yet. So I do think that would be a DLC. So we have plenty of stuff still that could make the game here, including here's a couple. So one guy I think feels like a definite because it belongs in the game. Well, is the Argentinosaurus, the largest land dinosaur that's ever existed. We've never had this in the game. It totally should have made its appearance in some way in one of the other two games. I think it's time we get it. Yes, we'll get a Titanosaur with the Jurassic World, but sauropods are that dime a dozen. Everybody loves a good sauropod, and we got a couple other ones we could even discuss here as well that could possibly get in the game that has never been there. So obviously, this is my high favorite Argentinosaurus. The Lusotitan is going to be is kind of getting documentary popularity as well. It's pretty huge. It's going to be in the Walking with Dinosaurs, which I'm going to be watching next soon and reviewing that. But there's the Lusotitan, another Titanosaur. We've technically never had the Brontosaurus. And if we wanted to go with somebody related to the Margosaurus, we have the Bahadasaurus. Yeah, you try saying that. You guys' name? Yeah, there it is. The Bahadasaurus. There. Yeah. So these are all possibilities. So we have a couple sauropods, that could go in there. I'm highly favoritizing the Argentinosaurus. I think it's time we get the Argentinosaurus. I mean, it's just, look at the size of this thing. We deserve the Argentinosaurus. All right, so when we did the cut list, we kept the Gallimimus, we kept the Struthiosaurus, and we cut the, I'm not sure I'll say his name either, the Archodon, whatever. Because I think a good replacement for that is the Orthomimus with feathers. The genre of dinosaurs is named after this species. And it only makes sense to get that and then give us another feathered dinosaur. Then I'm thinking maybe a new duckbill. And obviously the new duckbills, they're pretty much all fall into the category of Hadrosaurs. We don't have the Hadrosaurus, the one that it's named after. So I like the idea of the Hadrosaur is coming to the game. But another popular one, and again, another good reason to think this, is the Shantungosaurus, the largest hadrosaur. As you can see here, it's a T-Rex size hadrosaur. And it's from around China, and we do have a map in China. So another Chinese dinosaur. So we'll talk more about some of that kind of information here in a little bit. So I think there's so that one I think has a good chance. It's a very popular hadrosaur as well. As you can see, other hadrosaur possibilities. We've already had that one, the Oranosaurus. There's the Solifia, the Brachylophosaurus, Camptosaurus. That's a kind of a known one. So you could throw a Camptosaurus there. We already had the Para. Is that the same guys as that? We have a couple of those, I guess. Shintung, Myosaur, Laratite, and Corythosaurus. So another popular one that we've not had would be the Lambeosaurus. So, but Shintung is the big boy of the group. So there's a shot there. So I definitely feel like we're gonna get some representation. So we haven't had new hadrosaurs in a while. I think it's a good possibility for that. Argentinosaurus I really like. And then I think we gotta give some Triassic love. And there's always been one key guy missing from the Triassic period. The Plateosaurus. I mean, how has this guy not been in a Jurassic World Evolution game? Is one of the most famous Triassic dinosaurs we've ever had. This picture kind of shows you about the size of it there. It's no longer considered to be quadrupedal. It's more considered to be a bipedal early sauropod. And the closest thing like that we have is the Therizinosaurus. But yeah, we should have this. A Plateosaurus to me is you have to put the Plateosaurus in the game. He's way overdue. He deserves it, or it deserves it, I guess you could say. So definitely that. So that's where I'm leaning on herbivore wise. Some of the biggest herbivores that that could be in the game. If we want to look at a couple carnivores, we have the Rajasaurus. We have the Gorgosaurus, the Daspletosaurus, Torvosaurus. So we got a couple major big meat eaters, carnivores out. The medium, large size carnivores that they could add in. We also know deep water is going to be a thing. Semi-aquatic animals. So if we want to go down that route, we have the Uroraptor. Cannot talk. The Uroraptor, or from prehistoric planet, the Australoraptor. So those could be some aquatic animals if they wanted to go down the aquatic species line. So now let's think here towards some other areas. And so if we get anything that's a new flyer in the game. We've had pretty much a lot of these, and there's just so many, there's tons of pterosaurs. Like one of the more famous ones we don't have is the Rhamphorhynchus. So, but the problem with the Rhamphorhynchus is it is very small. It is like the technical pterodactyl, which everyone always just misidentifies pterodon as pterodactyls. So the actual pterodactyl kind of looks like a Rhamphorhynchus as well. It's also super small, but they do have the nice, cool long tails. So we don't have a lot of them, except for Dimorphodon. A couple other we have the Tefty Draco, the Phospherodraco. So we have a couple other large flyers on the market. This is one I just stumbled across today while started researching. Is the Arambaringa. This is supposedly the tallest flying animal that's ever existed. I never even heard of this because I thought the Quetzal was the biggest one ever. So there's that. But the guy we're missing the most with his big, fancy big fan is the Hesteropteryx. If they're going to add a flyer, it needs to be the Hesteropteryx. Surprised that the Theco was in the deluxe and not this guy. Anyways, I actually thought they would maybe throw him in the deluxe to kind of help sell it a little more, because this is a very much requested flying reptile. So I would lean that if they're adding a new flyer, that would be the most likely one. I don't know if they would add any more than one newer one. I mean, the Rhamphorhynchus would be really small. I mean, there's a different version of the species that is bigger. That would be if they want to introduce us to the new flyers, find something with new body, with the new crest and stuff like that. Because we know there's been so many pterosaurs, so they could always surprise us with one you never heard of. That would also bring us to our marine animals. We've had multiple plesiosaurs. We cut two of them, the elasmosaur and the one with the Ashanti. Elasmosaur is one of the bigger ones. So, I mean, there's been a couple more other ones that we've seen in some other dinosaur documentaries. We've cut a couple of the Moses. We cut the Tylosaur. There's also a bunch of different more mosasaurs you could also. So, like, would you rather a different new mosasaur, or would you rather have the Tylosaur back? We cut like Pleurodon because we think he needs a rework, better body. But if we're looking at the Plylosaurs, we kept the Kronosaurus. I mean, we could go with the Pylosaur itself. The Ichthyosaurs, we ended up keeping both of those. There's a lot more other Ichthyosaurs out there. So there's a lot more other out there species. So I wanted to go. I mean, so I guess we could always mix it up. But like I said, at some points, wouldn't you rather just get the ones you lost back? So what if we go a different way with marine animals? So what we know is the Dunk and the Megalodon opened a couple doors for things. One was fish. So the largest predatory fish, that's not a shark, is, I gotta put this here because of the Exopacatimus. I have no clue how to say that. Known as the X-fish. We'll call you the X-fish. So, a giant predatory fish that lived during the Mesozoic period. If you wanted to have a peaceful fish, we have the Letosuchus, which was a massive giant fish. So you could go that route. Those are two fish options. The Megalodon opened the door on sharks. There's all kinds of crazy prehistoric sharks. Some lived in the Mesozoic. There's some other big sharks that lived in the Mesozoic. Some lived before the Mesozoic. Like the Helicarpian. These names get tricky sometimes. Known for that nice little buzzsaw. Paleontologists have argued if it stays locked up like that, some people thought it could unravel it. I believe now the common thing is it was believed to stay locked up like that, and it was used to like destroy animite shells. So we could go back more prehistoric times, back before the dinosaurs, and go get some of the crazier sharks. That's possible for a marine reptile or a marine animal, we'll say. See, we go. The Megalodon also opened the door for Cenozoic post-dinosaur marine animals. So what about the Basilosaurus, the giant whale, predatory whale? Maybe, so we got a couple open doors. Or I like this idea. Let's go crazy. Let's go way back and get the giant orthocone. That would be a really cool, really new, unique animal for your lagoons. It's pretty much a giant squid with a cone. But I think that, we're going to go, add new stuff, go outside of the box a little bit. That would be a really awesome, really fun animal to add to the marine ecosystem. So I think that would be pretty cool. I mean, have a little fun with it, Let's open the doors up a little bit. So now we're going to address something like I mentioned before. We got to talk about different locations of parks. We know we got a couple in North America. It looks like Vegas and Montana. We got tons of North American animals. That's like obviously the most common animals in the game. We got 3 sites in Europe, one off the coast of Spain and whatever those islands were called. We have a lot of England, Spain, Portugal animals in the game already. The Malta island is there, as well as there was another place looked into. I think some people said it is the site of the Biosyn thing, but maybe not. We got a lot of European animals. Then I think we have maps in, I believe it was somewhere in Indonesia, Japan, and China. Don't really know what they're going for with the Indonesian one. So I think we would definitely want to have some. So I think they want to have some animals representing for some of those parks as well. I was doing some reviews. I think we're doing pretty good in the China area. So like I said, we could always bring back one of the Chinese stegosaurids, the Kuang, or is the other one even on here? Chunky should be is one, but I don't think they listed him. We cut him already. Mommy's was one we cut. Yinlong's really tiny. Proceratops is one of the deluxe editions. The Guanlong's in the deluxe edition. Microraptor's way too small. But the hadrosaur we're talking about, Anthoshanto, would be a Mongolian Chinese dinosaur. So that would kind of. So I think China. So I don't think we have to go too hard on trying to find options for Chinese dinosaurs. So I think we're doing well in the representation there. But bigger thing is, we don't have any representation for Japan. So, I mean, if you're going to add a dinosaur from Japan, I mean, I guess we could just go with,
Will the missing species get re-added?
3, 2, 1. I kid, of course. This is obviously we're not going to get Godzilla. But technically, if you want to be realistic, Godzilla did come from a Godzillasaurus. I mean, no. Sorry, Big G, I can't get you. I tried for you, brother. I can't get you in. She knows I got all my Godzilla stuff over here. But technically, to be more realistic and no more kidding around, there is the Gojirasaurus. It's not from Japan, though. It's from America. But it is famously named after Godzilla. It is I believe, an early Jurassic dinosaur. And I know it's kind of a popular one, and it kind of has that, nice little symbolism there. But if we want to look for something that's really from Japan, we have a couple options. Two of these you have to be very careful with the names. The Fukavinator. So small feathered. I said it's probably about human size-ish. The other option is the Fuginaraptor. Oh, whoever named these things really making you try to be careful about how you talk. So there's 2 predators. They're both pretty small. A couple of options are hadrosaurs, like the Kamayosaurus. This is the largest prehistoric animal that's been found in Japan. And then another one I found was the Nipponosaurus. So it's a smaller hadrosaur. So you got those 4 options. Also, you could go with a smaller Therizinosaurus. I forgot about this one. Paralithinosaurus. Yeah, go for that. The knife fingers. So you could get us this give us a second Therizinosaurus in the game. So you got a couple options of something you could add to fix satisfy that Japanese requirement there. So you have something Japanese to go with the Japanese park that we're going to be building. All right, so now let's get exploratory, shall we? So now we're gonna really start to speculate. There's something that the people that want the most, and if they put these in the game, some people said it should be a DLC pack. I've heard a couple of content creators say, I think you put this in the game, you come out and you play a Name Your Dino on Twitter or X in around the beginning of October, and it's one of these guys. The hype for your new game is going to go through the roof. And it's what everyone's been expecting since they announced Steep Water and Semi-Aquatics. And I think you know where we're going here. It's Dino Crocs. And I would say two of them. Obviously. I say you put the Sarcosuchus in the game. And then the Dinosuchus. Always got Suchus at the end there, so obviously that was the more North American one. This was the African one that lived during the Spinosaurus. I'm pretty sure you were Jurassic, and I believe you were Cretaceous. I say you put them in. You can always do another semi-aquatic pack down the road with other crocodilians like Postosuchus, as well as a couple other marine reptiles that have been in the game. I cannot think of some of their names right now. They got like big box heads, square hammerhead shark type heads. They were in one of the dinosaur documentaries. I think it was Walking with Dinosaurs. So yeah, I mean, there's options. You could add a semi-aquatic pack down the road. So I feel Crocs are the necessary step here. You gotta have the one. I mean, you're doing the babies. That's a big thing. The modular building is a big thing. And like I said, you add a few of these new species that we've talked about in, and it would be great. But I think you need some big bang with the animals, and I think the Crocs would be the big bang. That's something brand new, something big, and a new thing that you could add to the game that would cause a lot of hype. Now, obviously, there's one other. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. This tastes literally. There's one more big thing they could add into the game that would also be a massive sale, but I'm doubting it. Maybe if we get lucky. But obviously, we're talking Cenozoic mammals. Or animals, period. Like the mammoth. You put that in. That would also be super hype for the game. Obviously, you do like the woolly mammoth and the Smilodon. And boom, right there. I mean, that's all the two mammals. You could just put those two in the game and it would be massive. But then it opens the door for so many other things. There's different, the Megalonian, the big giant lizard from Australia, the Megalana. There it is. Couldn't think of his name for a second. Other big giant mammals, the woolly rhinoceros, the short-faced bear. I mean, you got other things, but I digress. That's down the road. You just add these two guys, and they're ready to go nuts. I don't think that's happening, though. Do not. So that's a highly doubtful, because I don't know what it is. The Frontier must have made a deal with Universal where they cannot put these things in the game, even though other Jurassic media stuff has. I mean, the Smilodon was added by Camp Cretaceous. I mean, technically, I guess you could, if you do it, you could do the woolly mammoth and then use the Smilodon in that Camp Cretaceous DLC pack that we've talked about. But these would be two awesome things, and that's what I think you need to do. I think you need to expand to more prehistoric life. Even go before the dinosaurs. We could add the Another Dimetrodon-like animal, the Dilophosaurus. Only this, I think this one was a herbivore. Of course, the Gorgonops would be popular pre-Mesozoic period animals. I mean, you got the giant bugs of the Carboniferous. I don't know if you want to go down that route. Find other Permian animals and giant lizards. I mean, I think if you're going back before the dinosaurs, you're looking at these two guys, and you're looking at marine animals, like I said, the Helicoprion, the giant Orthocone. There's other giant wacky sharks and stuff back then. So if you would go back that far back, I think you could have fun with those things. But mammals would be the massive ad if they are Cenozoic animals. Period. Terror birds, even you got terror birds you could put in. Terror birds would be awesome. They're related. They're kind of dinosaurs. But these are all doubtful to me. I do think these guys are a must. That's just a must. I think you have to have those. Like I said, they've not shown any outside of the deluxe edition packs. We've not seen any of the new animals, and could you be hiding something really cool, like Dinosuchus or Sarcosuchus? You have to. I think that's like that would be a massive big seller if you just have those as two animals in the game. I guess you could just do one, but I feel like one's kind of cheap. I feel like you have to have two. Maybe you want to save one of these guys for a semi-aquatic pack, and you put one, and then pick some other different crocodilian. But I don't know. So I feel if you're going to this, you gotta go big, and you gotta do enough with them to kind of make them look. I think like one usually has like the smaller, more narrow snout, and the other one's got the more broader snout. But cool animations you could add. I don't know if they could do that, making the ambush attack on something. That would be really cool from the water. But I feel like that's the big animal, the big ticket animals that you have to add. Like I said, we talked about some of Argentinosaurus would be huge. Of course, some of the other guys would be great abs, like the Orthonomymus and the Plateosaurus. But the Crocs, you have to go with the Crocs. That would be your big ticket seller for new animal wise. So we'll have to see. See when they start deciding they're going to show us something new. We know there's got at least something new. There's some new animals. They've already pretty much said there will be new animals. How many, we don't know. Like I said, I showed there's plenty of room for at least, you could easily add 10 new animals. A couple of these guys, a new marine, a new flyer, a couple new, a Japanese, something from Japan, they give that Japanese flair in there. And then we have plenty of other guys who've never been in the game yet. The Torva, the Gorgosaurus, the Daspletosaurus. We could get, like I said, we're holding off. I cut the Suchimimus because I think it's going to get a redesign for Camp Cretaceous. You could replace that with the Eoraptor. And that would give you another Spinosaurid animal. So there's plenty of room, plenty of animals that you could fill with new spots. So there, you got some cool suggestions, leave them down below. But I definitely lean that the Crocs they have to do the Crocs. I'd be highly disappointed if they don't add the Crocs. All right, until next time, Cachorro out.